Hi, Tim Sales here. In this video, we're going to be talking about network marketing income compared to real estate income, and it's a side-by-side income comparison. And I really honestly can't be more happy for you because this was a lot of research that it took to acquire all this data. I had to pull together data scientists, mathematicians, statisticians, a bunch of research people to locate all this data, and so I'm super excited for you. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's start off with what it takes, okay? Because I want you to understand the life of a real estate agent, the life of a network marketer, okay? So what everybody in any sales or customer acquisition or a human resources department has to do is they have to acquire employees, acquire reps, acquire agents, acquire customers, okay? And the same acquisition, the acquisition process is all the same. And that is you generate a lead, you contact the lead, you set an appointment, you do a presentation, you follow up, and then you get a customer or an agent or a rep, okay? So, and then income rise and fall in ratio to the pipeline production. So if somebody's not able to hire the right person, what is it? Well, it's not generating enough leads and moving them across the pipeline. Okay. If they can't get a customer, well, why not? Well, they're not putting enough enough leads in front of the house. Okay. So if it's a real estate agent, so that's the process that they go through. Now, let me just kind of walk through a little bit of the steps, if you will. So let's say that a real estate agent sells a $225,000 house. That's the average, all right? And the income is around $5,000. And now, what's the process that the person goes through? So they are going to put up yard signs. You've probably answered one or two. Magazine ads, newspaper ads, online ads. They go to networking events, investor events, business cards, things like that. So I remember in a Halloween party, there was a person who's a real estate agent, and he was passing out his card at the Halloween party. And so there's all kind of ways that they can generate leads. And then how do they contact them? Well, a phone, you're sitting outside in your car looking at a sign and you call, right? Text, email, social media, right? And then what's the presentation? The house. Okay, so they're going to set an appointment to show the house. Are they doing open house all day on Saturday? Okay, and so they're going to basically be at the house all day Saturday. Then they're going to follow up and they get a customer or not interested. And I want you to think about that process. Okay, so if a real estate agent knows their game, what they're really trying to do is to find the person who wants the house that they're selling. I know when I go into a house and I'm looking for something, I know that agent has no idea what I'm looking for. It may very well be, where am I going to put my office? In the home, right? Like that could be my primary thing. I remember going for an investment house and I was looking at the curb value. Whether or not that was what I would end up selling the person to, what they were looking for, I don't know. But the thing is that inside the customer's head, they're looking for something. All right? And so it's about quantity of leads to find that person who wants that house. It's not about convincing somebody. So when somebody really knows their trade, that's what it becomes. It's not about trying to take somebody who doesn't like the house, but making them want it. Okay? That's not what we do. Okay, so how did this all come about? Well, I happened to Google average income of a real estate agent in 2019. And I got data, and it was $41,289. Okay. Well, that was from Forbes. Forbes? Okay. And then I saw right down below it, it said 41,395 and 53,899. In other words, it was a range. And then there was another one of 52,000. And so I'm like, why is there variable data? Why isn't it just a statistic? So I became curious. And that's when I launched the research team to try to figure out why. Because I was wondering, okay, is it everybody in real estate that's ever had a license? Or is it only the active ones? Because I remember some of my family members who had a real estate license and they hadn't sold a house in 10 years. And so were they part of the calculation? And so I was very, very curious about this. So here's the way we just happened to get lucky, all right? That's the way I view it, is that we found a small Texas town that revealed the number of people who passed the exam, and then that gave us the query to be able to find more and more of those. So the bottom line is that 50,000 people become real estate agents per year. 44% passed the exam. That means 56% didn't. So we have to add that 56 into the number above it. It's the only way you're going to be able to produce 50,000 a year with a 44% pass rate. So we have 113,000. You can take the exam 3 times in a year, and so we average that at 1.5. And then it's finish the course. What course? Well, there's a real estate agent course, and it's like 57 and a half hours long. Okay? So some other people have told me, no, it's over 100 hours and things like that, but it's contract and regulatory law. How many people actually finish that? That was what I was curious about, okay? And so it ends up being that you needed 710,230 in order to get 50,000 that would become agents. All right, so that gave us the data in order to, and then we're also going to reveal it here, but I also did that same thing to network marketing. All right, and so that's how we can do side-by-side comparison. So 37,500 sell at least one home. That's 75% of it. Now, I have a question for you, and I want you to really think about this. How did we lose 12,500? In other words, why did 12,500 people not sell a home? Okay, so I have the pipeline right here to remind you. Okay, so if 37,500 did sell one home, it meant that they put enough leads across the pipeline in order to sell one home. But 12,500 did not put enough across the pipeline. So whatever was in this course, it may have taught them regulatory law, but it didn't teach them the pipeline. Okay? And then going on down, we have 25,000 that earn the median income. 9,375 earned $75,000 or more, and 1,250 earned $110,000. Okay? Now you can look at the corresponding numbers over here. 3.5% would earn the average. So this is a book called How to Lie with Statistics. And omitting data is a way to make statistics look different. Okay? And that's clearly the case here because they start their math here at the number that passed the exam, not the number of people who started out and say, I want to be a real estate agent. All right? Okay. So let's break this down now. $225,000 home, commission is $5,000. 5,000 times 10 is $50,000. So in order to earn this median income, they needed to sell 10 homes. Okay, so let's say that it requires, 100 leads across the pipeline in order to sell 10. I don't know. I'm not a real estate agent. Maybe somebody can share with me those numbers. But the concept is always the same in the game of marketing. That is, how many leads did they have to move? Well, let's just say that it was 100 leads, 1 in 10. The people who did not do that did not advance in the income bracket. 15 required to make 75,000. That would be, let's say, 150 leads across the pipeline. Only 9,000 people were willing to do that. And then only 1,000 were willing to put the quantity required to make $100,000. Okay? I want to make sure that I assist you in understanding the subcomponents that make a statistic. Statistics are just a quantity of something. What's the quantity of? The pipeline are the subcomponents that create it, right? Okay, so now compared to network marketing, we took the same quantity here in the same way that they extract their data here, and then we just basically filled in the blanks. There is no requirement to do a network marketing course, if you will. It's recommended, but no course required, and so all these numbers drop down to here. So 81% or 578,000 sold at least one product, right? That means that a whole lot didn't. 200,000 didn't. What didn't they do? They didn't move enough leads across the pipeline. That's what it was. 7.5% earned the median income, 53,000. That's 2 times more than what real estate produced. 25,000 people will earn 75,000 a year. That's 3 times more than real estate. And then 14,396 will earn 110,000. That's 11 times more. 11 times more. Okay? And again, this isn't any different. You'll hear a lot of excuses, but it is quantity across the pipeline. And as you train a sales team, it's quantity across the pipeline. If you train your people to do quantity across the pipeline, it's not any different than a real estate broker that trains his or her agents to do quantity across the pipeline. Okay? That's the game. Okay, so let me bring it back to where I can really assist here. So between each of these columns are normally some communication that goes on. Okay, so you generate a lead. That lead, however your advertisement was, is the communication, right? The better you get at that, the better you'll be at the pipeline. As you contact them, your communication, you asking, like pertinent questions, what they're looking for, things like that, then you're going to better be able to connect the house to the client, the prospect, if you will, right? And same thing in network marketing. What are you looking for? That kind of thing. And then setting the appointment, following up just before the appointment, confirming the appointment, if you will, and then showing the house, right? When I go into a house, what I want to do is I want to sit with it for a while and try to imagine all of my furniture inside the house. And in network marketing, I tend to like to look, evaluate. I like to watch a video on something. I like to look at the product line and see how I could sell those, things like that, all right? So it's all the same. So the better that you get in each of these columns, the better the conversion. But it is always quantity that wins the game. But if you can add quality, your conversion rates go up. All right, so this is the same in every industry. It doesn't matter if you are in corporate sales. It doesn't matter if you're in farm sales. It doesn't matter, farming equipment. It doesn't matter what you do, right? So for those people who have said things like, most people fail in network marketing, or only a few succeed, or it doesn't work. It's my favorite. What's it? It is the pipeline. Okay. What are they really saying? What they're really saying is those people didn't do the pipeline. And the people who win The people who succeed, they did quantity across the pipeline. Those that are the top producers did quantity across the pipeline. All right. So I hope that helps you to understand the basics and the fundamentals of all of this. But I have one more thing to show you. All right. And that is, I know where all of the data came from. That's the anti side. All right. So there was a gentleman by the name of John Taylor, and he and I were in the same company at the same time. So I had joined a company. I worked it for 5 years. I retired for 18 years, didn't do anything. John, in the same company about the same time, he worked it, and I put it in quotes, he worked it for a year. Couldn't make it work. Decided that it didn't work. What was it? It was that company. And he tried everything he could to bring that company down. It's a $2 billion company now. And so he didn't bring it down. And then he kind of diversified, and he goes, well, the whole industry is flawed. The whole industry is a scam. The whole industry. All right? The bottom line is that he had poor sportsmanship. That's really what went on. Spent his whole life trying to prove that network marketing didn't work. Flawed business model. Most fail. Few succeed, etc. All right? He wrote a bunch of articles, and then that got picked up by Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, bunch of blogs, because the blogs are looking for eyeballs. So is the Wall Street Journal, and all of them. They're looking for people to buy the newspaper, hit their website, things like that. And then and what they do, what the media does, is that they quote that it's an FTC research. No, if you look really, really close, you will find that it's in public comments. Not a lot different than people who comment down below my video. All right. So he just uploaded his PDF and shared it with people. And because it's got that URL, people think that it is done by the FTC. All right. It's not. So in my world, like I said, I was in the same company. I worked it for 5 years. I've had a 6 to 7 figure income for 32 years. All right. And so you can kind of choose if you want to be on the negative side or you want to be on the positive side. But the bottom line is it's the pipeline and it's quantity across the pipeline that creates success in real estate, creates success in network marketing and everything else. I am in no way putting down real estate. Okay. No way. I was actually very surprised. When I saw the numbers, I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. But then after a bit, I kind of figured out, yeah, that would make sense to me. And the reason that it would make sense to me is that if a person's in real estate and they move 20, not 20 across the pipeline, but let's say 200 across the pipeline in order to sell 20 homes, they make $100,000. Well, at the end of the year, they got to do that again next year. You see, because the houses aren't consumable. Network marketing tends to be consumable. And so you would have more of a compounding effect of that volume. Yes, there's going to be some people who don't, they get off auto delivery. They don't want the product anymore. They don't want to be reps anymore. And so you're going to have attrition, but there is a compounding effect that goes on. And so each year, if you will, if somebody's still working the pipeline and they've trained their team to work the pipeline, the quantity will take over. So if you take a look at this, you can see that what's going on is that these are teams doing the pipeline. So I'll just make it real simple here. This is a person or two or three doing the pipeline in real estate. Over here, it's a team of people doing the pipeline. The broker over here has a team, normally not as big as what network marketing develops. But the idea is that few people are doing the pipeline over here to create income as opposed to over here. And that would be why you would have 11 times more in network marketing make $100,000 than in real estate. So I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope that was helpful to you. Please comment down below. If you haven't subscribed already, you might consider doing so. I appreciate you.